All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Amy Leisner Show. Today, I have my friend Tim with me, and we are going to talk about the difference between marketing and sales and kind of some belief structures around that. So, right away, I'm just going to let Tim introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do, how you got from where you were to where you are now, all the things. Have at it.
Oh man. All right, cool. Thanks for having me. This is super fun. Yeah, no. So, hey everybody, my name is Tim Chesonis and I've been at this marketing game since 2012. I got started because I kind of fumbled into it. I have yet to meet a direct response marketer, funnel builder, copywriter who grew up wanting to do that as a career. In my, what I call my past life, I was flying helicopters. I was a helicopter pilot, did the Grand Canyon tours. I was a flight instructor. I flew for Valley Children's Hospital out here in California for about 5 years. And during that time, flying for Children's, I had a lot of downtime. We had this schedule. It was a week on, week off. And during the week on, it was just 12-hour shifts. And during the 12-hour shift, most of that time, during like half the year, you're just sitting around twiddling your thumbs, watching soap operas on the television, waiting for a call, right? And at the time I was 24 at the time, and I just was bored out of my mind. And I wanted to figure out, how can I make money on the side while I'm waiting for a phone call on the weeks that I have off every other week? What can I be doing with my time? So I tried picking up a hobby, and fun fact, I don't even know if you know this, Amy, but one of the first things that I picked up was crocheting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had taught myself how to crochet, and I was like, oh, cool, I can make beanies. And then I was like, no, that takes way too much time. I got good at it. Then I started making beanies for friends and stuff and for myself, but I was like, nope, that's not it. Then I started Googling like how to make money from home, right? And this is back in 2012. Mm-hmm. So that sent me down a little bit of a rabbit hole. And then my ears perked up when my boss was telling me, hey, are you keeping your options open for making money on the side? Right. And that's your typical, foot in the door for an MLM pitch. Right. And I came to find out he was selling this, it was like a supplement thing from a company called Visalis. I don't know if you remember Visalis. It's like, no. Yeah, they sold like protein powders and shit. And he was like, yeah, let me show you this video. I was like, okay. So we're at work on the computer at work, and he's trying to find this video he wanted to show me. It's like a presentation, and an ad came up, and he's like, what's this? And it said how to make $12,000 a month for free. And we both kind of looked at each other and we're like, what is this? So clicked on it, watched the video, signed up for this dude's system. And that's how I learned about affiliate marketing and MLM marketing. I basically turned down my boss with his offer, and I was like, I'm going to do this over here because this looks more fun. I don't have to talk to anybody, right? Yeah. So I got involved in an MLM and failed miserably. Just couldn't sell my way out of a paper bag. I just spammed my link all over my social media. At the time, it was Facebook. And, Instagram, I don't even think Instagram was out yet. None of the new platforms that are here now. So it was just Facebook. I was getting messages from friends saying, hey, I think your account's hacked. There's someone spamming your account with this link that seems like a scam. And I'm like, no, man, that's me. Check it out. You can make a lot of money. Well, how much money are you making? And I was like, nothing. That was fun. And then it really came down to me. I saw the potential of it. I was like, dude, there's these people out here, these men, these women who are literally working from home, and they're showing their accounts, they're showing the sales that they're making, and they're just living their life, right? And I was like, I know it's possible. So I just stuck with it, and I started observing what they were doing. And what I realized was that they weren't working harder than I already was. The only thing that they were doing was a little bit different. Was they had their own thing. They had their own website. They had their own video to sell the MLM product. So I was like, okay, I have to do that. So then I taught myself how to build a WordPress site, because this is before ClickFunnels and all that. It's when you had to like code in HTML to move a picture like 3 inches, and it just drove me nuts. But I taught myself how to do that. And then I taught myself, okay, they have these videos with words on them. And I didn't know it was called a VSL, right? A video sales letter. And I was like, okay, so I studied all the successful people in that company, what their videos said. And I just basically wrote it down verbatim. I'd hit play, wait 5 seconds, hit pause, write down what I just heard, and then just go through their videos like that. And then I studied what they were saying, I found a pattern and I changed out their structure and just put my stuff in it, right? Launched my first funnel, well, not my first one, it was like my third or fourth attempt, and it worked. And I ended up getting 13,000 members into a program. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Then I started getting recognized for, people were like, you're a really good copywriter. Maybe, have you heard of this guy? Have you heard of this guy? And I'm like, what is copywriting? What the hell are you talking about? Then I learned about direct response, copywriting, sales, using words on social media, and all that set me down that rabbit hole. Then I started building my own products and my own affiliate systems, and then got recognized by a few people in the industry, started building stuff out for them because they saw how my conversion rates. And then eventually I built up a little business to where I was doing like 25,000 a month. Quit my flying career, ended up tanking that business about 2 months after quitting my job, burned my bridge at the helicopter. So I couldn't go back. So I was forced to just go at it. Ended up rebuilding my business from scratch and learned really important lessons around like the difference between marketing and what marketing is and what sales are. And so, because for the longest time I hated doing the selling part, and I was like, just watch the video, right? I didn't want to sell anyone because I hated being sold, but we like buying stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that journey kind of took me on this roller coaster of up and down until I finally realized like, hey, it doesn't have to be this hard. It really comes down to a few fundamental concepts. And that's what led me to becoming a known copywriter within my network, and I'm pretty behind the scenes for the most part. I'm not out there teaching copywriting out to the public, but writing copy for high level campaigns where we're spending like $5, $10, $15, $20,000 a day. And then also taking that knowledge, and I've worked with agencies in the past. That's how I met you, right? Mm-hmm. And one of those agencies was we're helping coaches build their business, and I became the lead copywriter there. Built a team of copywriters and trained them up. And that helped me get experience of the coaching world, mm-hmm. right? And so I understood, I was like, hey, I actually really enjoy helping coaches, and I really enjoy helping people just kind of see the simplicity in what they're doing and just sticking to it. And so that kind of led me to now building out, like becoming a coach myself, getting certified in NLP, doing all that type of work, but also building a platform for coaches called Conscious World Changers with a buddy of mine named Mike, where we basically help coaches not only increase their coaching skills with NLP, but also give them the strategies and tools to build their business in a more simple way without doing like complex funnels and stuff like that. So now we're here.
I love that. It's so funny. I don't know if this has been your experience with a lot of coaches. A lot of the coaches I work with are mostly women, and a lot of them are like spiritual, energetic based coaches. So you just say the word funnel to them, and there's like a visceral like reaction that they just hate it, and they're like terrified of it. They don't want to do it. So I might be jumping ahead in our conversation, but I'm just curious what experience you've had with specifically coaches and telling them, here's a funnel and it doesn't have to be horrible.
Yeah, no, same experience, especially in the spiritual community, right? That's actually a lot of the coaches that we help. Like, we're not an agency. We just like coach them, and we give them the training videos, and we do like weekly calls and stuff. And like, hey, let's review your stuff. I'll give you some input. I might rewrite a headline for them or something, Yeah. But when it comes to the actual marketing, the doing of the marketing and sales part, they get all like, right? Which I get it, because I think also too, it comes from a place of where their heart is, where they're coming from. They're coming from a place of service. So I think there's like what do they call it? Cognitive dissonance, where like, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to like light you up and show you the light and coach and help you become your best version of yourself. So they have a hard time like receiving the money. And so they attach the money, they think they're taking, mm-hmm. right? And I think that's the issue there. But yeah, I've had the same experience.
Yeah, so funny. So let's see, could you give me your definition of marketing and then your definition of sales, so we can kind of see where they differ, or where like what misconceptions are?
Yeah, totally. So marketing and sales are two different things, but they're related, right? And the way I see it, when you look at a funnel, people call them sales funnels, right? It's kind of the term everyone uses. It's a sales funnel. So I even use it still to this day, just out of habit. But I'm moving more towards using the word marketing funnel, because your marketing funnel starts with your social content, your ad, whatever it is. The piece of content is going to draw them into, your funnel, so to speak, right? Marketing is basically you're building belief within your audience that you have the solution to the problem that they have, right? So you're presenting a problem, you're agitating it, and then proving that you have the solution by building that belief within your market. That's all marketing is building belief that your product or service is the thing and the only thing that's going to get them the result that they want, right? So that's the goal of the marketing funnel and marketing within itself. When it comes to sales is just you're basically not verifying marketing, you're building the belief that your product is the solution. The sales part is just validating the value of the solution that you have, right? So by the time it comes down to you getting on the phone with a client or them getting to the order form or however you're selling your product or service, by that point, they should already believe that your thing is for them. And if there are any quote unquote objections, it's just because you haven't answered that specific question that they have. That's it. Mm-hmm. So when you think about sales, especially with coaches, we hear a lot about sales training and stuff like that. And a lot of the sales training that's out there, they're talking about like hardcore closing, right? And some of it just doesn't feel right for a lot of people. Other people totally resonate with it. It just really depends on your vibe. But marketing is just building belief. Sales is just validating the value of your product or service.
Yeah. I love that. That's just validating it. That takes so much pressure off the whole experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Another thing too, I've noticed with coaches, when it comes to the actual like call itself to close a new client, they get caught up where they get like worried is they're trying to follow a script. They're trying to follow a structure they've been given because of a course or something like that they're going through. Sure, the script will work if you follow it, but if you're not resonating with it, you're going to stumble, you're going to fumble, and your prospect's going to feel that anxiety within you, right? So the way I like to look at it is literally like follow the process, like look at the process, but what you're doing with that prospect on the call is you're literally just having a conversation with them. You're finding out who they are, you're building some rapport with them, and then you're figuring out like, okay, like, how can I help you? Like, what do you got? And they're coming to you with a pre-frame of understanding of what it is you do exactly already. So you don't have to do too much digging. Once you ask them like, so how can I help you? Like, what's going on? Right. Then they'll tell you like, and say it just like this. So what's going on? How can I help? They'll open up. Then they open up, you're taking your notes, you're finding those pain points, you're finding the actual problem as the expert, as the coach. You're finding the problem. Okay, there's a root cause there. We can totally fix that. Okay. And then you kind of read back to them what they just said, but in your words, based off of your notes, and say, okay, so if we got rid of this, or we helped you with this, or I helped you with this, how would that change your life? Oh man, right? And then they tell you, you write that down. Okay, so what's that worth to you? You don't even have to use that line. You could just walk them into your offer, just invite them in, say, okay, like, so here's how I can help you, right? So I have this program, and you give your spiel on it and say, is that something that sounds like something you'd want to do? Yeah, okay. So here's the price, here's how we can start. And it's literally just a conversation. If you come at it from that frame of mind, it's so much easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you coach your clients through like specifically sales pages at all?
No, I haven't done that. I've done it, but I'm not doing too much of that anymore as far as like the copy goes. Mm-hmm. Probably in the near future, I'm going to start rolling out training on actual sales pages themselves.
Yeah, because I know
you're really good at it.
Yeah, I'm due. That's my like VIP day is sales page in a day for coaches. And I'm just wondering, because I know you have background in writing them and helping them through, like when we work together, we would help people through that too. So I'm wondering, like in your experience or what you've seen in the industry, some like common missteps, like when people are missing the mark on their sales pages and like how they can shift that. Cause I think a beautifully written sales page can make the call you have with the person, with your, potential client so much easier because so much is like addressed and laid out for them in that page, but it can also go way wrong. So I'm curious, like what you've seen and like what like little shifts and adjustments people could make as they're if they're writing their own sales page.
Yeah, totally. So I love this. Is a great question. So when it comes to sales pages, right, it really depends on like where your prospect's coming from. So let's say they're coming off of your social media, they booked a call and now they're waiting for a call. And part of that follow-up is, read this page or something like that, right? Or they come off your social media, they land on a page, then they book a call, right? You want to think about how are they getting to that page in the first place, right? Because there's a billion different ways you can write a sales page. There's tons of different structures that work beautifully. And I think that's where it gets overwhelming. It really comes down to really thinking about, within your business, first of all, how are you leading them to that page? What's their pre-frame before that page? And really just like keeping it as simple as possible in your own words, write it like you talk. Don't use really complicated jargon that you might use with other coaches who know your vernacular, who know the terms, all that stuff. You want to talk on your sales page as if you were having a cup of coffee with an ideal prospect in front of you, right? Keep the language simple. But again, that's one of the myths is you have to use this hypey, like sales, marketing stuff to really impact them and get the emotions and all that stuff. Like if you just talk about how you help certain people with a certain problem, that's going to evoke a certain emotion just right out the gate. Mm-hmm. The more emotional of a story you tell, or the more emotional examples you use, it's going to resonate, right? And that goes for your marketing content as well, like on social media and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I talk about that a lot too, like storytelling and vulnerability. And I know we know with our NLP background, like how the subconscious likes to hear about itself. So even like if you can switch your language to like you facing, so you're talking about a story, but you say like you speak directly to them, like use the word you. I found it's been pretty impactful too in sales copy.
100%. And another thing too is stay away as best as you can. Don't use too much of, and this is kind of piggybacking off what you just said. Don't use too much of, I've done this, I have all these certifications, I've helped all these people. Those are good if you just sprinkle it in real quick. Because at the end of the day, no one likes to hear this. It's an unpopular opinion. No one cares about you. Right?
Yeah.
They don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. That's all they care about. They don't care how fancy your website looks. They don't care about how the way you're going to deliver the coaching, how many modules there are, how many handouts they get, whether it's video or audio. They, at the end of the day, don't care. All they care about is, can you help me out of this problem?
Yeah.
And your goal is to just get them to believe that you can.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Keep it simple.
Yes, keep it simple. It's so funny because the agency we like met each other and worked at together was focused on funnels, right? And I remember in my interview for that, I was asked if I've experience with funnels. And at first I was like, no, because I was from that camp of like funnels are bad and it's all, or we do organic and blah, blah, blah. But then I thought about it and I was like, well, I write social media copy, I write email copy, I write website copy. That's a funnel, like if funnel is triggering, if you break it down into what it actually is, it's like, well, y'all have funnels I bet you all have a funnel.
Yep. If you have a Calendly or a way for someone to book a call with you that's linked on your social media, you have a funnel.
Yeah.
Because you're taking a wide audience and narrowing it down to the ones who want to talk to you.
Right.
That's a funnel.
Right.
So yeah, totally. Funnels is not a bad word.
No, it's not. There's so much. I mean, even as a copywriter and now more on the coaching side too, there's so much in entrepreneurship that is just like constant personal development and, work on your inner self in order to feel confident enough to communicate what you want to say. And that, so the selling doesn't feel so icky. It's so much like in your mind. And so actually question, because I know you're certified in NLP. So are there any kind of like maybe mind hacks or like subconscious things that people can start recognizing in like how they speak about themselves, even that can help them through some of those blocks?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. So yeah, a big one is there's a lot of self-doubt out there. I don't know enough. I just want to coach. I just want to coach. I just want to help people. And I think telling yourself that over and over and over again hinders your growth in understanding marketing your actual business so that you can help people, right? So maybe if you catch yourself with the whole like overwhelm, or this is too hard, or I'm not good at tech, maybe write those thoughts down and see how you can shift those to say, okay, yeah, tech overwhelms me, or I've never been good at marketing, and say, okay, but what have you been good at that you can implement within marketing, right? So like a big one is posting on social media, especially when it comes to video. For some reason, I don't know the percentage, I'm just going to make one up. I would say about 75% of the coaches that are out there are afraid of video for whatever reason. And I honestly believe it's because they don't feel like they know they're going to do it in the right format. They can do video all day long with their friends, video chat, they can talk. So again, you're just talking to your audience, and it really comes down to just knowing that there's at least 1,000 people out there, like sitting in their chair with their face in their hands like this, praying that someone like you comes along and says things the way that you say them, right? Because they've searched everyone. It's everywhere. Coaching is everywhere. But the way we stand out is by expressing how we can help people through our own voice, through our own way of perceiving it. So just understanding that you are enough and that you have the tools within you. If you've already helped people before, you've helped, even if it was just family and friends, and you've actually helped them get a result, or you talked them through things or coached them through something, that is a result. You've helped another human being. That's like the biggest thing, is the overwhelm with marketing. It's just because there's so much information out there. So just reframing it as not that you don't know enough. It's a new skill, it's a new practice. You and I can jump on this right now and talk for like a minute or two. Hey, here's how this call's going to go. Let's go record, right? We can do that because we've practiced with, being on calls with clients, doing marketing videos, doing all that stuff. And it just takes you getting out there. And I had a client, actually, funny story about that. I had a client just recently, about 3 weeks ago. She was struggling with posting. She's a relationship coach. She helps couples basically like really strengthen their relationship. And then she helps them like, she'll do the, what's it called when you're the person who's marrying the couple?
Officiant, like she'll officiate.
Yeah. Yeah. She does that, right? She officiates the weddings, and then she follows up with her clients. And she was like terrified to do video on TikTok. And I was like, you got to get on TikTok. Like, your people are on there for sure. And she says, okay. I gave her a little format, a little structure to follow. And I just said, girl, like, just do it. Just see what happens. Right. She started posting, and she's like afraid of looking cringy. And which, by the way, you're only afraid of looking cringy in front of about 5 or 10 people when you really get down to it. And it's usually you're worried about the people around you, what they think. Once you get over that, the world opens up. She started doing that, and she got like 2 clients within her first couple of weeks or something like that. And I'm like, she's not the first time she's ever been doing that.
Yeah.
Right. So, and they're not like highly produced. She literally I told her, I was like, grab your phone, write out your topics, and just start talking.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, it really comes down to just really believing in yourself and knowing that you are enough and there are people out there who, once they hear you speak, are just totally going to resonate with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that too. People might think, oh, it's been said already, or someone's already doing this, but it's just no one will say it exactly like you say it because no one else is exactly you. So yeah, I totally believe in just like shutting your eyes and just jumping in and just see what happens. And the best feedback when I first started promoting my business, like face to camera, a few years later, a friend of mine was like, your videos look so good now, because boy, like she didn't say were they bad back in the day, but she was like, they used to be pretty embarrassing, huh? And I was like, oh, I didn't know they were that bad, but I guess thanks for your feedback. But it's putting the reps in too. Like we can, think positive thoughts and, rechange our, subconscious, blah, blah, blah. But like, it takes practice. Like it's not going to be an overnight thing, and you're going to have to like fail and learn and just keep moving forward.
Yeah. No one's going to lift those weights for you. No one's going to do that 3-mile walk for you. No one's going to, post your video for you. Like you perfectly said, it takes putting in the reps, taking that step. And look, the reality is you might not be that good when you do your first video, and that's okay. None of us were, but you keep doing it to a point where you don't suck as much and you're actually kind of good at it. Right. And then you keep going and then you get really good at it. And then that's what really like everyone kind of sees, right? Except for those ones that are closest to us in the very, very, very beginning. But when the world opens up, they just see like what you're doing now. And to your point about the whole, like someone's already saying that, a concept that I learned a while back that really helped me out mentally was, in life, we're either a sower or a reaper, right? We either plant the seed or we harvest the seed. And there can be, I'm just gonna use like big names, like there could be the Gary V's of the world, the Alex Hormozis, the influencer names always escape me, but you get all these men and women who are out there like big influencers, right? And you're like, oh, well, I'm doing something similar, but they're saying it way better than me. It's like, yeah, they might be saying it way better than you, but to a large majority of their audience, they're planting seeds. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come in and you're going to say it the way you say it. And because of the way you say it, it's going to resonate with that person. The other influencers have done all the heavy lifting for you. And you come in and say it your way, and you're gonna be able to harvest that. And they're gonna be like, oh my God, totally, I get it. Boom, let's go. Yeah. Right. So understanding that the world is so freaking big that it just because there's one or two other big players out there doing what you want to be doing, that should inspire you that there's a huge market for that. And not every single one of their 4 billion followers is going to be their customer. Yeah. Right. Or client. So that helps me too, just remembering that. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that it might sound kind of depressing, but like there are no original ideas.
Yeah.
You think you have this big breakthrough, like mindset thing or whatever, like some philosopher back in the day already came up with that. So now, release that. You don't have an original idea, but you have an original way of presenting it,
Yes.
I'm wondering if you have any advice. I see people accidentally, when they're writing their own copy, regurgitate what like their coach's style. Like I'll see some people put out content and I'm like, oh, they obviously work with so-and-so, or they obviously work with so-and-so. I'm wondering if you have any advice for really speaking like authentically in your copy.
Yeah. So I made that mistake for a while. Yeah. Right. And I think that is a part of the process in the beginning, because we're mirror neurons, right? We're trying to emulate, we're trying to be like them. And so we're going to do everything and anything that they're doing, even if that comes across as how we speak, our mannerisms, our tonalities, all of that stuff, the language we're using. But you want to get out of that as soon as possible to find your voice, like you're saying. And the way you do that is ultimately just by practice, really getting in tune and trusting yourself and having the confidence that, hey, I'm going to say it the way I want to say it. You can share the same ideas, right? But your audience is going to come to you for you, right? And so getting out of that, for me, my personal experience really was to just keep going, but being mindful of, oh shit, I'm kind of sounding a little too much like this guy over here. I don't want to come off as that. I want to come off as me. So just having that mindset of, I want to be authentic. I want to be myself. And so that's what I'm working towards, right? And eventually you will work towards that and you will find it. The people who are emulating or they sound just like so-and-so who they learned under, it's because they haven't found their voice yet, right? So even if you haven't found your voice yet, that's okay. The process of finding your voice is continuously putting out content and talking about the things that light you up.
Yeah, totally. I got some advice recently about posting. I was having like a block with posting for my own business for whatever reason. And it was presented to me as, oh, it's kind of like data collection early on when you're just posting and seeing what resonates and post again and see what resonates. And that helped me take a lot of the pressure off too. Like, okay, not every post has to be pristine and perfect, or not every email or whatever, but no matter what happens, if it flops, I'm going to learn something. If it, goes viral, I'm going to learn something. So that for me, that shift of, oh, it's kind of just like data collection really helped me kind of get over myself and just post.
Yeah. That's another trap, right? When it comes to your posting, and let's say you have, like, I remember, because I just recently started posting, I came out and started posting, right? And then I had one post just take off out of nowhere. It got was it 25 or 30,000 views in 12 hours or something like that. And I was like, what in the world? I was like, oh, this is cool. Okay, that's a hot button. And then I posted another video after that. I did a part 2 to it because there was a ton of questions in that one. So I did a part 2. That one was, I was like, wasn't worried about that one. But the next one I was like, okay, I'm gonna hit it again. I'm on it. And it got 1,000. And I'm over 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. I'm okay. But there was this instinct to me. I'm gosh, I got to make these perfect. I got to, I get that again. And I think ultimately it's just, we're just chasing that freaking dopamine. Right?
Yeah, literally.
That's literally all we're doing when we're thinking like that. And what helped me is I stopped and I said, okay, no, think about, okay, what's going to help them? What's going to help my audience? What little nugget can I give them? What little reframe can I give them today that's going to help them? Because we're in our content, we're just leaving breadcrumbs. We're not leaving the whole loaf. We're leaving breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Right. And so what's a breadcrumb I can drop today? One little mindset shift, one little reframe. And the reality is they're not all going to hit. They're just not. I don't care how good your content looks. So I have friends that I follow on social media. They have the best lighting. They have the best cameras, the best mic. They're perfectly good looking. Content's good. And they got, can we swear on here?
Yeah. We have
they got shit engagement, right? Yeah. So, and I'm just what is happening? And I realized it's because I think what's happening nowadays with audiences, especially on social media, is the day of the influencer is over. It's not about I call Instagram the glossy magazine of the 21st century, right? And the day of just looking good and having this dope lifestyle isn't enough. People just want to be seen and heard, understood, and they want to know that you're real, right? And so knowing that, you can just start creating content that you feel is going to vibe with your audience. You're calling in your tribe. When you look at your friend circle, your friends, right? Are you afraid of are you trying to always look perfect in front of them or any, we're not, we just, hey, what's up, dude? I'm having a really rough day today. We're raw, we're real. And I think audiences nowadays, especially from what I'm seeing, they want that. So as a coach, just being open, being transparent, not trying to be perfect, just letting them know, hey, this is what I do. This is how I can help you. This is my unique way of helping you. And, let's jump on a call, or just sharing information. You don't even have to do a call to action every single time. Just letting them know, again, dropping breadcrumbs, just be real, you don't have to be flashy anymore.
Right. Yeah. Curated is out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think for some old school coaches, that's a hard pill to swallow because they're so used to this perfectly the photo shoots and the this and then that. And it's well, your times are changing. And I encourage people to, especially like on TikTok, if you're going from Instagram to TikTok, Instagram people are like falling flat on their face on TikTok because they're not getting it. But then new people can come in and totally take off just for being authentic.
Yep. Yeah. You can have the nice photos, like do a nice photo shoot for your website.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to get a couple headshots, great, put them as your email little icon. That really, at the end of the day, like once you start getting bigger and start getting known, you can start working in like your website and professional look. But for most coaches just getting started, especially if you're under 100K, if you're under 6 figures, like just get raw, just get real with your audience. And literally you just need a good platform and a way for them to get in touch with you.
Yep.
Get clients.
Yep. Well, I think that's a perfect spot to end, put a period, exclamation point, whatever we want. This was awesome. Thank you so much for spending time with me and with everyone listening or watching. Tons of value here. And I'm wondering if you could share how people can connect with you.
Yeah, sure. So one way that you guys can connect with me, like we were talking about, I actually just started a TikTok channel where I'm talking about, mindset stuff, NLP stuff, self-sabotage, marketing, a little bit of that. So I'm on TikTok under Timmuz. It's TIMMUHZ. I'm also on the Instagrams. It's the Tim Chesonis. And then my last name is CHESONIS. I'm currently rebuilding like all my websites and stuff like that, like getting a funnel up. I do have like a Calendly open and I'm able to actually get clients that way, which is really cool. I think it's hilarious. And so, yeah, follow me on TikTok, follow me on the grams, send me a message. Let me know you heard me from Amy's podcast. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions.
Awesome. Sweet. And if anyone wants to connect with me, I'm also on Instagram and TikTok at Amy Leisner. And then everything else you need, that's your starting point. If you want to see my website, want to work with me, want to message me, either of those two places will send you in the right direction. So, I'm going to mention for my audience, I have a little freebie. I call it the Ultimate Launch Checklist that I created. Actually, also inspired by the agency we used to work at, because every new client, my brain would hurt just putting all the pieces together of all the content that needed to go be created, like the thank you page, and then this email, and then this email sequence, and this and that. So I put it on a list for everyone that they can download for free. So that'll be on the Instagram link too. And that is it. Tim, thank you so much again for being here.
Yeah, no problem. And just from hearing that, if you guys are listening to this, go grab that from Amy, because I already know it's good. So go grab that, please.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor.
Agreed. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
All right. See you, Amy.